What's going on, guys? We're back. Another video. This one's going to be a little bit different, but first off, thanks to everyone for the great comments, the positivity, good vibes. I make these videos for fun, and I hope that you guys enjoy them, but the comments have been great, the feedback, getting plenty of views for, yeah, I mean, it's really overwhelming, but thanks a lot for watching them. I hope you enjoy them. This video is a little bit different. I'm actually looking for your guys' opinion because I've been thinking about the hockey card market a lot lately, and the hockey market in general. And I get to ramble here, and you watch it, and I get comments left. But I really want to hear your guys' opinion on the market, and I'll sort of explain more what I mean as the video goes on. But just to add some context, I don't have a long-term hold strategy with hockey cards. I'm not buying, Marios and Waynes and holding those for 20 years. A lot of my strategy is predicated and built around a single season, okay? So I purchase cards that I feel can go up this year, and I can sell them off. And the reason for that is because I don't want to be over-leveraged and have cards that I have to hold for years and years. I don't know what the hockey card market's going to be like next year. So that's how I base a lot of these decisions is on a year-to-year plan, okay? So right now, with the bigger portion of my cards, I'm just trying to sell them off. I'm trying to sell everything off. I don't want to hold much for next year. I do have some of the guys who have bought some prospects that either haven't played this year or just are putting up numbers, but the card value hasn't seen any sort of increase. Barrett Hayton pops to mind, Owen Tippett for Florida. I have some of those cards that obviously I'm not going to sell for a few bucks and buy them back. I'll just hold those, and we'll see what happens. But for the most part, any of my other cards with any decent value, I'm just going to sell off. And I hope that they're all gone by the end of the year. For the most part, I mean, I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm liquidating quite a bit. Sold a bunch of Adam Foxes this week. Adam Fox on fire. I'm just not sure how much more upside there is left in Adam Fox. And this sort of leads to the point of why I'm selling these cards, is because I really think that we're going to see a bottom this summer. Okay, we have COVID and all these things going on. And in Canada here, it's actually picking back up. But I think this summer, a lot of people are going to be out, and perhaps some traveling going on. And I just don't think there's going to be a whole lot of attention in the card market. So I think the prices are going to be super low. So I'm selling everything off because I think it's priced higher today than it will be in July and August when I'm sitting on the beach and I can go on eBay and load up on these cards. So that's a big portion of my belief. I think that's going to be the buying opportunity. I'm assuming for it to be. But again, you can tell me your thoughts on that if you agree with me, or how far the card market's going to go down. And then that will lead me into next season, and the card purchases that I make in the summer are going to be plays for next season. Again, it's not the Marios and the Waynes, and I'm not buying those things. But I put together some market movers charts just to sort of move the conversation, and it'll better explain my thought process and how I look at this. And you guys can let me know whether I'm being pessimistic, or again, I just want to know in general what you think of the market and where it's going to go, and it'll lead to the ultimate question at the end. But let's check out some market movers. All right, so let's take a look at some market movers to sort of illustrate my point, or just give you a better idea of what I'm thinking, and hopefully, like I said, you can answer the question that I have at the end, which has to do with the hockey card market. So we're going to use market movers here. First of all, thanks to those guys. I am not, just full disclosure, I'm not paid or anything like that. I'm not affiliated with market movers. I just think that the platform's great, so I use it. And sometimes it's good to see card charts just so that you can have a visual of what's going on with a card. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is just some cards with some value. So Mario PSA 10 here, sale at $56,000. We know that Mario is always going to be collectible. Patrick Waugh, I grew up a goaltender, and Patrick Waugh was my favorite player. $7,500 for a PSA 10. These cards are always going to have value, right? The question that we'll get to at the end is more with other players and how much value they're going to have. So you have Wayne Gretzky, PSA 9 here. selling at $140,000 for the last sale. Mark Messier, I was actually surprised to see how much his card was going for. If I can find Mark Messier, there it is. PSA 10 for Mark Messier, up at $23,000 US. These are all US prices, just a reminder on that. So, these are guys that people are gonna want to collect forever. I can see their cards going up in time. Will they go up forever? I mean, I guess that's a question I have too. Like, if a Gretzky rookie PSA 10 sold for the last OPC, Patrick Bet David sold was $700,000 for the OPC PSA 10. Like, can that card get to $1 million? Can it get to $2 million? Can it get to $3 million? It's only a pop 3. So, I mean, I think there's an argument that it could. But what about other cards? I think we know that these will in all likelihood increase in value. So we'll take a look at these guys. Some other big names in hockey. We'll take a look at Steve Yzerman. It's like I've never said the name before. Jesus Christ. Anyways, Steve Yzerman. Up here at about over $6,000. I think Steve Yzerman's always going to be collectible. Then you sort of have this unique thing happening with the 90s because, junk wax era, we have all this stuff. Sergei Fedorov has a little bit of value there. I'll take off the Yzerman so we can take a look. Okay, so there you go, a Young Guns Fedorov. You grab one for $152. I remember collecting this card when I was a kid. Up at $180 for a PSA 10, and then we'll take a look at his PSA 10 Premier, his rookie OPC Premier card at $175. So these junk wax things, our situation is a little bit weird, but think of all the good players back in the 90s and how little value those cards have. Now, is that because of the junk wax? I don't know. I know I'm asking a lot of questions here, but that's sort of the point. And hopefully you guys can comment, and whatever catches, your attention, certainly give me some of your insight. I'm looking forward to hearing it. So I pulled up a list here of just random list, 15 most valuable hockey cards of all time. So you got Patrick Roy, Sawchuk, Ovechkin, Crosby, or Lafleur, the list goes on, George Vezina. You get down to the top 5, Lemieux, Maurice Richard, Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky. What about all the other great players in this era? Like, what are those cards worth? I'm not going to mention any names because I haven't looked at the card values, but that sort of brings me to, more modern cards. So, we have Ovi here. I think Ovi and Sid and Connor are always going to be collectible, and you have a really high pop here. This was a high print run year for Connor. It might hold back his value a bit, but I think the card ultimately has value in time. People are always going to want a Connor McDavid PSA 10, and we're not trying to predict the future in terms of what the price will get to, but it's just like the question is more, will it keep going up in price? I think these guys probably will. Then we take a look at these guys. So sort of the next level of players, the next echelon. You have the top 3, those big 3 players, and then you sort of have these guys. And these aren't all of them. I'm just giving examples of sort of the next echelon. So, you have Austin Matthews, PSA 10, has come down a bunch. I've talked about him in previous videos right through this section here and talking about how the opportunity had been missed. And sure enough, he's seeing a decline, even though he's actually back to playing really well after the wrist injury. We got Leon Draisaitl, another player I think people are always going to want. My boy, Nathan MacKinnon. Everyone's going to want MacKinnon forever, right? I do. I'll have a PSA 10 and I'll hold MacKinnon. But these are sort of the top of the top in terms of players. The players that aren't Sid and Ovi and Crosby. And I think in time, over the long term, that these cards will be collectible and will increase in value. But the real question and the point of all of it is like, what about these guys? The guys who are below that, like, are people going to care about Anze Kopitar in 5 years, in 10 years, and more? Like, what about in 20 years? Is it selling for more today than it will be in 20 years? That's sort of the question. I don't know what's going to happen with all these guys. Brad Marchand,
Great player. Again, this isn't a full list. I just grabbed some random players who I think are obviously pretty good. And I wonder about their future values. We have Alexander Barkov here. Or, sorry, this is Jonathan Huberdeau. Jonathan Huberdeau, $220 PSA 10. Is this as high as it's going to be? I don't know. Mark Stone, great player. It feels like the league has already forgotten about Mark Stone. He's not talked about a heck of a lot for the caliber of player that he is. What's going to happen to the attention to his hockey card over a longer term? Mikko Rantanen, I mean, this guy's getting, he's starting to get in the top 5, top 10 of the league year after year now. And what's going to happen with him? Assuming he can stay healthy. He's had health issues. But great player. Mitch Marner, another one. What's Mitch Marner going to be worth in 5, 10, 20 years? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some value there. There's going to be people who want him. He's a Toronto player. What if he gets traded to Los Angeles and he finishes his career there? Are people going to care about Mitch Marner unless his career is like absolutely, impressive Hall of Fame caliber? Assuming he doesn't make the Hall of Fame, what's going to happen to that price? Sebastian Aho, I just threw in here, great player as well, $229 PSA 10. But those are sort of the things I've been thinking about is these players who aren't the elite of the elite players, They're very, very good hockey players, but they're not at the tippy top. And what's going to happen to the values over the long term? Let me know, because I just want some perspective. Again, I get to talk and spew to myself here, but I don't get much feedback in real time. Anyways, like I said, the comments have been great, but I'm wondering, so what do you guys think about these guys and what their values are going to be in 5, 10, and 20 years? And the other big question is, I guess, how low do you think the market's going to go in the summertime? Are you planning on buying in the summer, or are you not buying in the summer? Maybe you think some cards are a good buy right now. That's the video. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Check me out on Instagram, LapperFlips, LAPP3R30_flips. And until next time, we'll see ya. Stay safe, guys.